I'm Representative John Lovick for the 44th District in Washington State. I also served as a state patrol officer for over 30 years, during which time I responded to a wide variety of emergency situations and learned firsthand the value of being prepared. In 2003, I introduced a bill in the Washington State Legislature to develop a crisis management system designed to help police, fire, and first responders more effectively respond to a wide variety of emergencies. The program is administered by the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. The system encourages police, fire, and other first responders to meet with facility owners and coordinate how each agency would respond to emergency situations. Tactical response plans are developed and entered into a crisis management system. Next, a team maps key facilities such as schools, courts, and public buildings. They collect more than 300 data points, including floor plans, area photos, building photos, staging areas, hazardous materials locations, utility shutoffs, and evacuation routes. All this data is then made available to first responders via the internet or laptop computers. In Washington State, we have completed mapping over 400 high schools and are now beginning to map all elementary and middle schools, as well as key public facilities in the state. This video highlights the Washington State Security Mapping Program and details how the system was used to save lives during a shooting incident at a local high school.
On September 22, 2003, Lewis and Clark High School proved that it pays to be prepared. It happened at the worst possible time, during lunchtime when the halls were full of students. A gunshot rang out in a second-floor classroom.
And we had a student teacher come into the office very upset about something. And I could hear kind of the commotion going on. I got up and went out and met her and my secretary. And that's when she told me that there was a student on the third floor that had a weapon, had a gun.
A distraught teenager had confronted a teacher and 3 students, ordering them to leave and firing a shot into a cabinet. With the students already in the hallways, officials decided the quickest way to evacuate the building would be to pull the fire alarm. As the alarm rang out, fire and police raced to the scene. Arriving officers had a critical advantage they didn't have before. It was called the Rapid Responder Crisis Management System. As part of a new school safety program, Lewis and Clark had brought together police, fire, and school officials to pre-plan a coordinated all-hazard response to emergencies. Critical information about the school, such as floor plans and photos, were stored in an easy-to-use computer program called Rapid Responder. And all this information was accessible to all first responders via the internet, laptop computers, and USB drives.
We had the information. It had just been up and running the end of August. School started in September, and this incident happened September 22nd.
Within minutes of the first shot at Lewis and Clark, Rapid Responder was up and running in a makeshift command center, providing instant access to site-specific information.
Normally, it would take an hour or so to send people around to collect all the information that you're going to need. With Rapid Responder, it was amazing. What kind of a room is it? It's a science room. What's in it? Press another button. There's the inventory. How many fire extinguishers? Press a button. It tells you and it shows you. What can he see? You press a button and it can show you. It's that fast.
And it made for a very quick response by the SWAT team, getting in place and isolating that student from the rest of the student body that was trying to escape from the building at the time.
The SWAT team was positioned in the stairway across from room 307, but officers were concerned when the suspect appeared at 3 different doors. At the command post, Rapid Responder identified the reason: a connecting interior door between 2 classrooms. Windows were an even bigger concern. From photographs and floor plans in Rapid Responder, incident commanders realized the shooter had a direct line of sight to a grassy area where students had been evacuated.
We brought in 20 buses in less than 12 minutes, and we evacuated off-site all those students. And what that did for us is allowed them to not be present or endangered during the incident.
Room 307 also looked down on Interstate 90, putting 8 lanes of freeway traffic in a potential line of fire.
We knew exactly where they'd be on an aerial photograph. They were actually pinpoint, so we could see those. And there was also a listing, street by street, of every single roadblock. We could print that out, give it to the street department. They, in turn, could go ahead and just block those roads.
When the suspect unexpectedly asked for matches, rapid responders showed gas outlets in the science classroom where the suspect was barricaded. A click of the mouse showed the location of the gas shutoff, and a utility crew was dispatched to eliminate the threat. Another click brought up detailed information on hazardous chemicals stored in the building, including their locations and amounts.
We knew up front what kinds of things that we may be dealing with. We could give that information to the hazmat team.
The incident ended less than an hour after it began, when the shooter confronted the SWAT team and was wounded.
Consider that we have 2,000 students here, and the only person hurt was the suspect. That's pretty huge.
In comparison to Columbine, where school was closed for over a month, at Lewis and Clark, the 2,000 students were back in school the very next day. Whether the threat is a fire, a hazardous materials spill on a nearby freeway, or something as simple as a broken pipe, instant access to information is critical. The reality of today's world is that anything can happen, at any school, on any day.
It's really not a matter of if, it's really a matter of when. I think the peace of mind really for a principal is trying to be prepared.
Having been in the command post with rapid responder at my fingertips, it was invaluable.